Hello to everyone that will view this pre-recorded message. I pray that it blesses you as this information is being revealed to me or pulled out of me. It's blessing me either for the first time or again as I'm seeing it with a new set of eyes, and God is just continuing to expound upon things. So again, I want to come before you and speak on leadership. I'm not going to be speaking directly about self-regulating as a part of leadership today, but I do want to say that this that I'm going to speak on is a part of self-regulation. And so I want us to consider today, just for thought and food, for the feeding of our leadership minds and for our souls, and just to transform the way that we think about leadership and the way that we view leadership and the way that our trauma has affected us in our lives, and us, just going after the healing that we need so that we're not taking the baggage of our trauma into our leadership. Because again, I mentioned before on a previous recording that what we don't grow from is going to go with us. And so I know that the trauma is hard. I know that it has impacted our lives, but I do believe that trauma is put in place to groom us and to grow us. And when we don't allow it to do that, it sticks with us. And so we take it into our leadership. And again, it affects us in many ways. It affects our perspectives. It affects the way that we interact and the way that we respond to people. And we have these things that we call triggers, right? So today, just for our consideration, and please excuse my voice, for our consideration, I want us to consider the thought of trying to lead a people into a place as a leader that you have never been to. I want to say that that is a dangerous thing, and it is not a wise thing for a leader to do. Now, especially when it comes to ministry and the ministry of deliverance, I do not believe, and if I am wrong, please feel free to express that to me. You can either reach out to me personally if you have my information, my phone number. If you don't, you can reach out to me on Messenger. You can leave a comment on the post. I am not opposed to being corrected, but in my experience and in what I have seen, I don't believe that you can deliver me from something that you yourself have not been delivered from, which is, you can't take me to a place where you've never visited, or I can't take you to a place where I myself have never been. How do I even know how to get there, right? And it's not good for us as leaders to be experimenting with people. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of resources. And I do believe in some instances, it's a situation where leaders are attempting to skip steps and present themselves as something that they are not, which is not a wise thing to do, and is not in the best interest of the people that are following us. And so again, I want to say that as a leader, it is not wise to attempt to lead people into a place where you have never been. You don't take followers along with you when it's your first visit to a place, when it may be your only visit to a place or a destination, right? And the example, two examples came to mind. There is, Harriet Tubman. We hear about her, all the time. I've been hearing about Harriet Tubman for the entirety of my life, and the Underground Railroad. The thing that stands out as it relates to this particular point that I'm making today is that her first trip on the Underground Railroad, Harriet did it alone. And when I say alone, I don't mean that she didn't get help from others, but it was after she went, completed it, got established, then she made all the trips back to come back and get other people, because she herself had already gone through the process of traveling the Underground Railroad. She had been through where she was taking them to. And so I made this post, I don't know how long ago it was. I know it was in 2022. Because the thought came, into my spirit that it happens to you first before it happens through you, right? What that means is anytime you're called to do a thing, you're going to have to first overcome that thing first, right? And so she first had to overcome going through the Underground Railroad herself on her own before she was able to go back and grab the others and take them back on the many trips that she made. She had to first conquer the task of the Underground Railroad. It had to first be a conquest that she completed the Underground Railroad, right? Another example that came to mind, and let's consider all of the hardships that went along with Harriet before I get to my other example, and just coming through the Underground Railroad, how many times she may have considered giving up and turning back, and that she didn't have what it took. And this is why I say it's not wise to try to take someone where you haven't been, because you have to go through all of that process. But once you've arrived on the other side of that thing and it's established in you that you know that you have what it takes and you know how to navigate this space. One of the things that I loved about the movie, and I know that movies can sometimes add things in to spice it up, to make it sell, to make it look better, this, that, and the third, was that when she went back to get those people, and I think it was the first trip she went on, when she had to pull that gun out and she was like, listen, this is my show. It's my show. I said this is what we're doing, and this is what we're doing. And you know why I feel like she did that? Because she had already been there. So how are you, someone who has not done what I've done, going to attempt to tell me what can't be done or what you feel like needs to be considered as an option? And again, please hear me when I say, I'm not saying that we shouldn't take advice from somebody else, but this was clearly, if you've seen the movie, this wasn't an attempt to give helpful advice. This was an attempt almost maybe to usurp or to overthrow what Harriet was doing. And so I love the fact that she took control of that thing, but I also believe that the reason she was able to do that is because she knew with an assurity and with a certainty what she was doing, and that she was well able and capable of doing it again. I'm sorry, y'all, my throat is bothering me, but amen, we're gonna press through. And so the second thing that I wanted to, the second one that came to mind was, I'm an X-Men fan, and I have been since I was a kid. On X-Men, there is a character called Nightcrawler, and his mutant power is teleportation. Now, the reason why I think, he was given to me to use an example for this is because with his power of teleportation, this is one of the things that he always says as a caution. If they say, hey, Nightcrawler, can you get us to X, Y, or Z? He always tells them, If I have not seen the place that I am going, it's very risky. We could end up anywhere, right? Which means if he hasn't been to that place, or if there's not if the place is walled in, because sometimes on the show, the place will just have walls all around it, but they need to be on the other side of the wall. If he hasn't seen where he's trying to teleport himself, or himself and someone else, or multiple people to, it's not safe. It's no guarantee that they'll end up in the place that they're trying to get to. They can literally end up anywhere, right? Before he can use his teleportation power or his oil, he has to first see it, or he could end up anywhere. So what is the point of having the destination, right, just to end up in the wrong place? And this is the risk that we take as leaders when we're trying to lead people into a place where we ourselves have not been. It's the same risk that Nightcrawler takes whenever he hasn't seen the place that he is attempting to teleport to. We could end up anywhere. And if we haven't been to the place, even if we land in the right place, how do we know that we're in the right place if we've never been there? It's just a risky thing. And it's not fair to the people who are following us. And it's not fair to us as leaders to cheat ourselves out of the time and the space that we need to arrive in a place and to take in what's in that place for us. Because when you have those followers there and they are noted as followers of yours, you don't really get many followers who allow you the space that you need as a leader, unfortunately, to get what you need in a place, to understand that you're there with a need as well. And so I just want us to consider that thought today, that a wise leader, in my opinion, would not attempt to lead people into a place that they've never been. I just do really believe that it is a loss on so many levels. And it is a blatant waste of time. And it's just something that doesn't even have to be if we would just yield and submit ourselves to the things in our own lives that need to happen for us to be the leaders that God has called us to be, for our oil to be pressed out. And so again, just something for us to ponder on, to chew on as we get ready to come into the weekend. I pray that you all are well. I pray that you all are blessed. And I pray that you all are prospering in the things of the Lord. Until next time, you guys have a great, great day.